Hello and welcome to the Mother Runners Podcast, a podcast shining a light on all the amazing mother runners out there in the world. I'm your host, Whitney Hines, and I'm so excited to be interviewing Dr. Rachel Tinius today, an incredible woman who I have had the honor of coaching. Some more about Rachel. She's an exercise physiologist with a PhD in movement science. She's also a professor at Western Kentucky University, as well as the founder and CEO of Bumped Up Labs. That's spelled Bumptup. Her area of expertise is exercise during pregnancy, with over 40 publications and 15 years of experience in the area. Rachel's deeply passionate about running at all phases of life. She was a former D1 college soccer player and runner. In college, Rachel accomplished a lot. She was a 3-time all-conference soccer player and an academic All-American at Western Kentucky. She was also an all-conference awardee in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. And once she finished running in college, she continued to run in local races and challenge herself with new distances. And she currently enjoys running distances from the 5K, which she's really fast, a 17:37 PR, to the marathon, also super fast, a 2:57 PR. Oh, Rachel, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. This is so fun. I was trying to remember, we ran together not too long ago. It was when? In August?
Yeah, I think it was August.
It's been a
it was,
blur.
very late. Actually, it might have been very end of July, like last week of July, somewhere in there. I know
Okay.
it was very hot. I do remember that.
It was hot. It was humid. We didn't run too far, but we were still sweating a whole bunch. And
Yes.
you were here with some of your children. So I always like to know, because you have 4 kids, right? So
Correct.
I always like to know who's living in your house and what are their ages.
Yes. Yeah, of course. I live with my husband, Casey, and then we have 4 kids. So this is actually birthday week in our house. All the
Oh.
age 3 of our ages changed this week, so I have to really think about the ages. But as of this week, I have a 9-year-old, 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and then my baby turned 2 yesterday. And
Oh, wow.
yes, yeah. So we had a birthday party last night for the baby. But so yeah, Lainey's my oldest; she's 9. Riley's my only boy, and he's 7. And then Tess is 4, and then Tatum is the baby, and she is 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So you don't try to do all the birthday parties in one week, do you?
No, I'm like I said party. I'm really not a party mom. Like it's just like not like I have some strengths, I have some weaknesses. Like that's not a strength. Like I'm not that person. I applaud those who send out like beautiful invitations and have this like really immaculate party. By party, I mean like I hung a banner and I got her a cake and like I invited grandparents over and like that's about as far as we got.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was
especially for a
not.
2-year-old.
But
I
for
mean,
her, it was her people. It was her people. Like the people that are
yes.
our babysitter came, like the people that she knows really well and are closest in her life. Like she doesn't go to school yet, so she doesn't have friends. Like it was just her
Mhm.
people, and it was really sweet. So that's what we did.
Yeah, I learned that lesson with Eleanor when she turned 1, and we had all the neighbors over and all the families, and it was too much. And she just
Yeah.
she was still nursing at the time, and she just wanted to hang out in her room and nurse and avoid all the chaos, which honestly I
Right.
was okay with too. I'm not a big party mom either. I am like to rent out the place, go to the gymnastics gym and just have to show up and bring the cake. Like that's my MO.
Right. 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 Yeah. I try to talk my kids into like, is there something else you'd rather do? Like I would rather take you and like one friend and really do something special than like
Mhm.
throw a party for like a whole bunch of kids that like I hardly know and that maybe you just like have it, you get to see every day at school anyway. And like usually my kids will pick that. Like, okay, I really just want to do this one special thing and let's go down to Nashville, which is an hour from where we are, and like do this
Mhm.
one special thing with my best friend. And like I can usually get them to come to terms with that. And I love stuff like that. Like that stuff is a treat. So I
Yeah.
try to do with the older kids in particular something really cool like that instead of a party. So that's how I like to.
Yes, we started doing that with Eleanor, who turned 11, and now I think Cal is getting to that age that hopefully we can start phasing out the party and going that route, because I'm with you.
Yes.
That's way more memorable and fun, and the parties, I mean, it's
Yes,
like
totally.
I'm like, I can't even remember. What did we do last year? Did we have a theme? Who came? It's
Right.
just, yeah. And I find it kind
Right.
of
Well,
exhausting.
and I think about it from the lens from the yeah, that and like from the lens of the other families, like I don't know, like, when I feel like we have a bunch of birthday parties to try to hit, like, it actually sometimes adds stress to the weekend, and so I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know that other families necessarily are, like, dying to bring their kids to more parties. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, there's some gung ho moms out there that are like, "I love birthday parties are my favorite," and if that's the case, like, yeah, like, that's great for them because I just don't that's not how I feel. Usually, I'm like, oh, another birthday party we gotta try to get to," you
I
know?
think you're
It's another
totally
thing.
right. I don't think I've ever talked to a mom who's like, "And we have 3 birthday parties this week." I'm so
Right? Exactly.
excited. Yeah, once they get our kids are not quite well, I guess Eleanor did her first one where we dropped her off, but we're not to the point where we just drop and go, and I feel like
Right.
parents are so many parents are just itching to get to that point where they can just leave their kids and go do whatever it is that they need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so are we allowed to talk about Lainey and why she was
Of
here
course.
in Knoxville? So Lainey
Yes.
is she is kind of a celebrity, your 9-year-old, right?
She has ambition to be for sure. Yeah, she loves really into like theater, acting, has gotten into some like kind of more commercial things. She's done 3 or 4 commercials now. She's been on the CBS show SWAT. That's probably her biggest claim to fame at this point, but always auditioning for things. If you know anything about that industry, which I know is far removed from anything that I normally have done, or probably you too. I know we're just, just like out of the realm, but it's a lot of no's and a lot of just keep throwing your name in the hat. It's like running though, right? Like you just gotta keep stacking the bricks until the house is put together and it takes a long time. So there's the running parallel with acting.
Yeah,
So
that
but
was
yeah,
it.
she really loves it. She's pretty talented. So it's fun.
So last time we talked, she was up for was it Meet the Fockers 2? Did I make that up?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's a third one. They're making a third one, and she was pinned, which is an industry term for like you're one of the last couple choices. And I think they call it pinned because your picture is probably pinned up on a board somewhere as they're trying to figure out their casting.
Uh-huh.
It means they really like you and you're like in the final selection. So we were pinned for that movie for a couple of months, but she ended up not getting the part. So she's not going to
Aw.
be in that movie, unfortunately. Yeah.
Was she okay with it? Did she handle the disappointment pretty well?
She didn't even understand, I don't think, how big of a movie that actually was,
Mm.
but she did know that Ariana Grande was going to be in it, and that
Yes.
that was huge in her brain, like, I could be in a movie with Ariana Grande, like, that's life-changing, so she was disappointed mostly because she wasn't gonna get to meet Ariana Grande, I
Well,
think.
obviously,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she is huge now, especially post
Right,
Wicked.
exactly, yeah.
So have you met any crazy, like, stage moms or show moms? I feel like you don't fit the part.
No, I'm not. Maybe I'll get crazier as time goes on. No, honestly, I haven't. But this doing a lot of the stuff we do right now is online. Most of the like auditions are online, and so
Oh,
I
really?
think I'll take it. Yeah, so you're not like physically going around many other families. Like you really don't even know who you're competing against at all. Which is
Huh.
really interesting. And then the couple times we've gotten on set with some bigger projects and stuff, I mean, the parents have been awesome. Like, there's one boy who was her brother in SWAT, and his mom and I have kind of hit it off and are like friends now and like text all the time and check in with each other. And every time one of our kids lands something else, it's like we feel like it's like a family now. We're their brother and sister, right? On the show. So we kind of treat it like that and it's sort of fun. So yeah, it's like, but it's a community thing. It's like running, right? Like you and I don't live in the same place and now have this connection. And it's kind of like that. You like they live in California and like you meet people from all over when you get involved in this field too. So it's really fun.
That is
Very
really
interesting though.
cool. Yeah, you
Yeah,
amaze me because you have so many big pieces of the pie in your life, and they're all so kinda different, I feel like. You have a lot going on.
definitely. I do. I do. I think I'm a I've been yeah, I think I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't sit still. And it shows.
Because when we worked together, I mean, I knew you were a college professor and a competitive runner, and you played soccer. And then when we ran together, you dropped the bomb that you were like, "Oh yeah, and I'm CEO of this app that's for lifting weights while you're pregnant." I'm like, "What?" And then now I downloaded it. I see it on Instagram. Okay, so that was the warm up portion of the interview. Are you ready to get into
Yeah,
the meat of it?
let's do it. I'm
This is when I
ready.
ask the hard questions, you're gonna start
I love
sweating.
I love hard questions. Let's go.
Okay, so I find that your story is unique in that you were a competitive runner, D1 runner, and you did not take a break. I feel like you hear very often that people get burnt
Correct.
out, they take a long layoff, and then they rediscover running later in life when they feel like they need it, especially when they become a mom. So, how was it that you were able to keep going and not get burned out? And then, part two of the question, how has running evolved for you through all these different stages of life as collegiate runner, then getting cemented in your career, and then becoming a mom, a stage mom? Just kidding.
All the things.
All the
Yeah,
things.
no, so it's a great question. So your first question is a very perceptive one, and my story is different. Like I can definitely say I was a Division 1 college runner. In fact, I was an all-conference Division 1 college runner, but the first time I ever ran competitively was when I was essentially a senior in college. So I was a soccer player. I was a soccer player my whole life. I had been approached about running track and cross country quite a bit, and I like never wanted to like deter from soccer. Like I was like so laser focused on that I was like, oh, that's gonna distract from soccer. I don't want to be tired for soccer practice because I was running for cross country. So like I pretty much said no, and never ever did it. Which in hindsight, I honestly wish I had picked it up sooner because I think I would have loved it. But anyway, so like the first race I ever did, I was technically a senior in college. And so at Division 1 level, if you switch sports, you get an extra year of eligibility. So I played 4 years of soccer, which really soccer's 3.5 years because it's a fall sport. So my senior year ended and then I ran track. And so let's see, I did indoor and outdoor track in the spring and then a season of cross country and then indoor and outdoor track in the next spring. And that was my 5 years of eligibility. So kind of an interesting tale there. So I did keep running, but it was like so new to me. Like it was so exciting and fun and new. And like there was no burnout because I was new to the sport. And for me, it was like a perfect transition out of like Division 1 soccer, which was my life forever, into like, okay, how to become a normal person. And running to me is like a really great transition there because it's like, okay, you can keep running semi competitively and still kind of satisfy that competitive itch and that feeling that you're an athlete, but also sort of start to move on with your life to where you're not at the helm of an athletic program and coaches and following all these special rules and you're just a person. So yeah, that's my story and how I was able to like easily do that transition because again, I was new to it. And my last, I can't remember how many races, like 6 or 7 races, where I just kept PRing in college. So it was kind of sad in a way because it was like I never reached my potential there.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, again, it made it really hard to ever want to like stop at that. Why would you want to stop at that time point? Like I'm just getting faster and faster. Like I just want to keep running. And so that's kind of the story with that. And then how that evolved into like different stages of life. I mean, like I said, running sort of became the like outlet for like that competitive part of my personality and just like the desire to be an athlete and like, and also the love of, all right. And then, so from being a Division 1 athlete running in college, like it was a pretty easy evolution into like that being just kind of part of daily life after that, just kind of kept running, kept using running and then even some road racing to sort of satisfy the like competitive itch and like just to keep, I mean, I'm an exercise scientist as well. Like I just love moving. I love the feeling of the endorphins, like all of that. So I just kind of kept that rolling. And I mean, I did jump in some road races here and there for a while, but at that point too, I also started a PhD, which was highly demanding. So kind of had to like taper expectations there a bit. And I also don't think I had any idea like what I was capable of at that point. Like I feel like if I told myself then what I've done now, like I wouldn't even believe myself. Like I would be like, no, you cannot run that pace for a marathon. Like that's insanity. And so it's, yeah, I don't think I like fully grasped my own potential at that time point. But I also was, in a way, I'm thankful for that because working on a PhD, my schedule was super crazy and unpredictable. I was on call a lot. So I did this cord blood collection at the time, which meant basically anytime one of my study participants had a baby, I had to be at the hospital. And so it worked out to like run, I would say like recreationally at that point. Like, and I did do my first marathon though, while I was working on my PhD. I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's do one. Did one. Then of course had the like, well, I think I can, I think I did actually qualify for Boston time wise, but it was an uncertified course. So then I was like, well, I qualified. No, I can't run Boston because the course wasn't certified. So I guess I have to run another one so I can qualify for Boston. And then I did the second one and then qualified for Boston and then ran Boston. And that was kind of like a big bucket list thing sort of checked off. And it was around that time point, I had this like ambition of like, I want to run Boston before I start my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was kind of the goal. Thinking, oh, once you have kids, you gotta give it all up. You can't do it anymore. That was in my mind. That's how it was going to go. So it's like, I have to run Boston before I have kids or it'll never happen.
Yeah, I have an athlete that's like that, and she's getting married in a couple weeks, and she just ran Chicago, and she didn't get her BQ, and I was like, "We're gonna have to address this. You don't have to
Totally.
like, you can qualify for Boston after you become a mom." She has in her head that she won't be able to.
Totally.
But okay, so I am so impressed that you switch sports and call like running is a sport where you have to have, built up your fitness and then you jump in with these collegiate runners and then you become an all-American. Like I find that so impressive. And you telling me more about your story sheds light on who you are because I feel like you have this beautiful dichotomy of you're very competitive and you take your running seriously, but you're also very chill and out your training. You don't get hung up on the numbers. You're not the person that's like, I'm not stopping until my watch beeps. So this kind of explains it because you have this natural ability, but you came into it later in life and then really got into it when you had competing priorities. So it wasn't like I'm going all in on running. However, then you have this another layer where you've dealt with performance anxiety, which is our first conversation when we were talking about maybe working together. When did that come about? And how have you been able to work through it? Because you have been able to work through it. I know it's still something that you deal with, but yeah, I'm wondering when was that triggered?
Which when was what triggered exactly?
The
Sorry, making
perform
sure.
like race
Ah,
day anxiety.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so the great thing about me is that I'm very, like, and it's like so many runners, I'm not unique in this way, like, goal driven, right? Like, you, like,
Mhm.
set a goal and you're like, "Okay, I wanna do this," and I'm one of those people, you know the history, like, when I set a goal for myself, like, I do it. Like, it very rarely doesn't happen. Part of that's just my determination, part of it's realistic goal setting potentially, right? Like, I don't set goals I don't think are attainable, but and so it's like everything I've, like, said, "Okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this," like, I've been able to do that. And the marathon had become this, like, monkey on my back that, like, I knew I could attain this goal, which my goal was to break 3 hours. It was a goal for 3 years before I did it, and it just became this, like, my training all suggests that 3 hours is no problem. Like, my
Mhm.
training suggests, in fact, that, like, going from 250 to 255 is actually probably a very realistic expectation.
Absolutely.
And so 3 hours should be no problem. And then I'm running with people and workouts running away from people, and these are my buddies. Like, it's not a competitive thing. It's just like the
Mhm.
where we were.
All men that you're
Mostly guys.
outrunning.
Yeah, there's one girl who runs it. She ran a 252 and she's super fast, and so she was part of that group as well. But like, even they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna like 3 is no problem. Like, you're literally like, you should be thinking about 250." Like, that's the encouragement
Mhm.
everyone's telling me, "Let's get to 20 miles and we're gonna turn you loose, like this is gonna be so awesome." And for multiple races, that's not at all what happened. Like, it was like this tee up for this amazing race. The weather was good. I was like seemingly healthy, like there was no issue. And then like race day came and like the performance was absolutely not there. And that was like I mean, my husband will say it like this is like the first time in your life, like you failed at something that you say. And, well, and I mean, he wouldn't say it like that, but
I
like
know, I
it's
know.
like when you're not used to experiencing failure, like it felt like such a failure. And again, I
Mhm.
know it wasn't in hindsight, right? Like it's fine, but it felt like that. And so then the performance anxiety for me came like after that. It was like, okay, now this goal is just feeling harder to get, and like the marathon has become this monster in my head. And like when a marathon doesn't go well too, not only is it like disappointing, but like it's really painful, like physically and mentally. Like it's a painful experience that can drag out for 3 hours, right? Like it's not like a 5K where you just okay, like in 18 minutes it's over. No,
Mhm.
like you're out there you have a long time to like suffer. And
That
so
last 10K is the longest 10K in the world.
it's so hard, and so it became this, like, monster, and, like, I was determined to, like, face the monster, but I also, like, just that's where the performance anxiety came in, like, after that experience. So that happened for me in Chicago in 2020. What year was that?
Mhm.
And, like, what happened for me, and I think it's worth explaining because it took it happening twice for me to figure it out, and maybe I can help somebody here.
Mhm.
Everything was teed up perfectly, training was great, hydration good, everything on point. Was running a pace that was completely reasonable, a pace that I'd ran, a million times in workouts, like a pace that had started to feel easy, like actually
Mhm.
felt easy. On the first 2 miles of the race, 3 miles of the race, 4 miles of the race, it felt like a 5K sprint. Like a pace that normally is no problem was extremely difficult, and I could
Huh.
not settle into a pace. My heart rate was super high. It was like 5K effort heart rate, but running marathon pace. And
Mhm.
I'm like, so then that like sets off this cascade, right? Like even more so of like, what is wrong with me? Why does this hurt? Like I can't do this for 20 miles. Like what is going on? And then I started having cramps at mile 9. Again, doing a pace that was completely reasonable. Started in my feet, like this like I'm doing my hands here like that my
Mhm.
toes felt like they were doing this and I couldn't release them. And then like that like worked its way up to my calves, and like my calves were just firing on and off for 17 miles. And like anytime I tried to pick up the pace at all, they would fire more rapidly. And it was never like a cramp that like takes you out and you have to stop. It wasn't like that, but it was like these like little muscle twitches almost. It felt like very neurological, like
Mhm.
little twitches. And then it worked its way pretty much up almost to my hips by the end of the race. And then as soon as the race was over, I mean, I'm devastated. I'm 12, 15, 20 minutes off the time I thought I was going to run. And I'm like, as soon as the race was over, like my legs went into like full cramps. Like I'm laying on the ground, like medics are having, like I'm like needing medical attention. So like it wasn't in my head. Like these
Mhm.
things were actually happening. And so of course, like after that race, I was completely like gutted over that one.
Mhm.
I'd had a baby and then I trained so hard for that year leading up to it and like had PR'd in every distance that season. I was just like so ready for that race. Felt so disappointed. And the only thing I could come up with was like I overhydrated. Like I drank too much water. Like why else would I cramp at 9? Like it makes no
Mhm.
sense. Like so that
No.
was the only thing I could come up with. And so that's the story I told myself for 2 years. Like I was like, or for, yeah. And I really thought that was true. Like yeah. And so anyway, so after that race, immediately turned around and said, I'm going to run Indy. It's a month later. I know I'm super fit. I know that was just like something like weird with water. Like it turned into a long run basically, because like my pace was like nowhere near what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I did enlist a coach at that time point. I was like, hey, I'm going to find somebody who can like walk me through this and like tell me sure this isn't like a bad idea. And like I found somebody who was like, yeah, I think it's great. Like you basically just did a long run. Like you're good. Like let's like reset, whatever. During that month, I got hit like with pneumonia really bad, which is
Mhm.
like also word to the wise. Like that's rarely a good choice. Like in hindsight, like not a good choice. But I was so eager to like stamp the ticket on that fitness cycle that I just wasn't willing to let it go. Ended up like
Mhm.
putting myself totally into the ground. Got super sick, like so sick that they put me in the hospital. Like I was literally hospitalized for 2 days with pneumonia. Like I was
Oh
almost
my
septic. Like it was
gosh.
my temperature was like almost 105. Like it was bad.
Oh,
So
wow.
anyway, the marathon, as we all know, like it takes such a toll on your body and like you have to respect that recovery. Like it doesn't matter how it went, like you really have to respect that recovery.
Mhm.
So anyway, so that happened. This is mostly females probably listening. That pneumonia destroyed like every bodily system going on. So like it destroyed my like menstrual cycles. Like so I
Mhm.
became super irregular and like crazy for
Mhm.
a little while and then I accidentally got pregnant. So that's how fourth baby entered the picture. Was kind of mentally when my body got all screwed up. And so basically had to take, I took that I continued running. That's one of the things I love to talk about is like I was training for Boston at that time point when I got pregnant. After pneumonia, recovered a bit, was going to run Boston. So was training for Boston, found out I was pregnant and decided to run it anyway. So I ran it at 12 weeks pregnant with Tatum, but didn't race it. Ran it for fun,
Yeah.
like ran like 8-minute pace, which for me is like, not like so easy when you're pregnant, but also like not pushing, just like a
Mhm.
pace that felt pretty good. So did that. As soon as Tatum was born, I was literally in the hospital after having her in October of 2023, October 16th of 2023. And I signed up for Chicago for the next year. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to give myself a year and I'm going to go back to Chicago and I'm going to fix what was broken and I'm going to
Mhm.
have like an amazing race there. And so did all the things. Like that year was like I did a couple halves leading up, like training was really really good. Like again, all signs pointing to like this really great thing happening in Chicago. Super super ready, super pumped for it. Like again, everything looked great on paper. I will say night before the race, like flashbacks, like I don't know if it was being in the same city in the same race and like kind of reliving some of the feelings from that previous race, like central nervous system went nuts on me. Like I was like heart rate was through the roof all night long the night before. And my palms were sweating and I just could not like calm myself, like no sleep. I woke up the next morning. I don't know if anybody else uses Garmin body battery stuff, but I do. And like my body battery on Garmin said 7
Hmm.
to start the day before I ran a
No.
marathon. So it's kind of like, this isn't good. Got to the start line, like, which some people may experience like elevated heart rate at the start line. Like, I don't think that's crazy, but mine was like in the 110s before
Mhm.
I even started the race. And I was like, that's not good. And so the race started and it was like literally deja vu. Like, I was running with my
No.
buddy who like we trained all together. Like, there's no reason why I shouldn't be running the whole race with him. And like I feel like we got through about 10K and I was like, dude, you got to go. Like this pace feels, I cannot settle into the pace. Like it just feels so hard. And like, I remember I saw Casey, my husband at mile 14 and it was like, Chicago's crazy. So you can't like have a conversation. But I remember basically throwing him the
Uh-huh.
look like it's happening again. Like it's happening again.
Oh.
And like he said, he knew, he's like, I saw your face. And I knew, he's like, I knew that it was, you were done. The race was over. And it was, I mean, I was cramping the exact same way. And so after that, like I wasn't near as upset. I was more just like pissed. Like, why in the heck did this happen again? But it was also like, okay, this is not a hydration problem. This is not a
Yeah.
fuel problem. This is a race anxiety. Like something is triggering like some kind of anxiety stress response. And so I have a PT friend that I work with here in Bowling Green. Her name's Suzanne Leach and she's amazing. I had been texting her, like, she knew all about the race and everything, like, coming up, and so she asked, like, how it went, and I was, like, telling her what happened, and I was like, "Suzanne, like, it has to be something, like, in my head, like, something happened to me the night before, like, something changed." And she said, "Rachel," she said, "I can tell you 100% I know exactly what happened to you." She said, "Your central nervous system ran your race the night before. You already ran your race. Your race was done. Your central nervous system was done and it had nothing left to give. And when your central nervous system's fatigued, you're going to cramp. Most cramps aren't electrolyte imbalances, they're central nervous system fatigue. And I don't think that's always something people understand or know. And so, like she was like again, like you had no chance at that race. Like you had already run your race. And it was like kind of light bulb moment of like, yeah, like that is what happened. It's what happened 2 years ago too. And I have to figure out like how to tame that beast and not overdrive my central nervous system the night before a race, particularly a marathon. Every other distance, it doesn't happen to me. Like every other distance, I sleep great and like I don't worry about it. I just wake up and go, or a little bit of excitement, but like nothing crazy. For the marathon had just become like this monster. So I spent a lot of time, and this is I know when we started. I think this is around the time point that I reached out to you.
Mhm.
And I was like, need help on the mental side. I also feel like having some coaching would really be helpful. A couple of my buddies at that point were injured. And I was like, okay, they're kind of my like accountability partners and the people that I do all the stuff with. And like when they're not running, like I need somebody for that. So I know that's how you and I connected and you started coaching me then. And then, so that after that Chicago, I felt like I'd figured out what it was, knew I needed to fix it. And so also sought some like mental health services. But this time for this, it was very particular. I was like, I want somebody who does the like race anxiety, mental health piece, but also is a runner. So they understand it. Like I need somebody that like really understands that side of it all.
Mhm.
And so I found someone, her name's Danielle Snyder. She's amazing. Happy to share her information for anybody listening that's like, I think I need some help there too.
Yeah.
And I mean, we met weekly and like talked through, okay, worst case scenario, what does that look like and what are you going to do? And like, or in
Mhm.
race, when this happens, what are you going to do? The night before, how are you going to plan for this? Like when you wake up with the sweaty palms, like what are you going to do? Like you can't stop anxiety. Like anxiety is a normal part of who we are, our emotions. When you care about something, you're going to likely get anxious about it. That's why we have anxiety. My dad's an actor. He used to always say, like, you get nervous because you care. Like that's a good thing.
Right.
Want to
So
care.
true.
So it's good. You cannot say, don't be nervous, don't be anxious, don't. Like
Mhm.
that's not something that works. But what you can do is say, okay, I'm feeling anxious. What can I do to help calm those emotions down? Or rationalize myself through this situation. Like, why are you nervous? What are you nervous about? Like, okay, what are the potential outcomes and how would those make you feel? And like, how would I handle this or how would I handle that? And when you kind of start to approach anxiety that way, it helps a lot. And so she gave me a lot of different tools, like just little things, some of it as simple as what's your mantra going to be? What are you going to tell yourself in that moment when, you feel that stress or that like you need to have something you're going to tell yourself right then and there. Having a plan. It's like I hear a lot of moms say like, well, I'm a planner, da 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 da. Okay, have a plan, right? Like you should have a plan. Like you have a plan for the race, right? Like you probably have a plan for what pace you're going to run and for, what you're going to do at mile 20 when you feel good or what you're going to do to mile 20 when you feel bad or what you're going to do at mile 13 point, you get to 13.1 and this is where you are, like have a plan. But I don't think we always put enough time and attention into the mental plan. Like what's
I
your
think
plan?
like a plan that empowers you,
Yeah.
a plan that makes you feel like you're back in control instead of your body's going haywire and you're just along for the ride. Or like for me, running Chicago, last weekend, like going into it, I was so anxious for like it came on out of nowhere. This whole build, I was like, this is just about me finally being healthy again. But then I just kept going back to that place where at mile 16, the wheels are coming off, my pace is slowing, I'm trying to pick it up and I can't pick it up. And I'm like, there it goes. There goes my shot of the time I was going for and feeling so disappointed and like a failure. And so giving myself the power to be like, you know what? You don't have to run that one pace the whole time. Like the pros fall back. They allow themselves 30 seconds to kind of regroup and reset and then pick up the pace again. Like you're in control. You're not your watch is not in control of you. And so I feel like whatever the bad scenario is, the worst case scenario, you thinking through the plan of how am I going to react in which I'm back in the driver's seat is what can really help.
Absolutely. Well, and yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And I feel like, especially with a marathon, but with any distance, like there will be a point in the race where something isn't feeling perfect. Or you get a moment where you're a little nauseous, or a moment where like there's a twinge of that muscle, or whatever it is, like that's going to happen. So yeah, having just a plan of how you're gonna talk yourself through it. And like in a marathon, who cares if you slow down for a couple minutes? Like that's fine. Like that's not, you can probably still run a PR. Like a marathon, it's called a marathon because it's a marathon. There's
Yeah.
plenty of time, right? Like it. So, and I had to remind myself of that too. Like, one bad mile, who cares? Throw it out, move on. Like, it's fine. Like, you just might have one here or there where you don't feel great. It doesn't mean the race is over. And so I think that was something too. And then I think that there's a lot to be said. And I hope this helps people because it helped me a lot. Like, for the pre-race preparation, like the night before, like, there's just a lot to think about. And I also think it's worth considering, like, thinking through when you're deciding what race you're going to do and where you're going
Mhm.
to be. Like, the logistics of the day, like I have figured out for me personally, Chicago is also just too much for me. Like it's so stressful even getting to the start line, the porta potties, like it's just a stressful situation there. Even getting a hotel like nearby the start line's really difficult. I had somebody, this is a funny story now, but like right around 14 when I kind of accepted like my race was over, somebody literally from the like side of the road popped into the middle of the street and popped a party popper, like a firecrackery thing with like
Oh my
confetti
gosh.
literally in my face. And I was just like, yeah, that's like the microcosm, right? Because like my heart
Yeah.
rate was already like through the roof, and then somebody like popped a party popper in my face, and I was like, you know what? Like, I think for a lot of people, racing is like the celebration of the work, and it should be. It
It should
totally
be.
should
That's the
be.
way it should be.
Totally should be. But like Chicago is like too much celebration for me.
It
Like
wa
I need quiet.
I loved it so much, and I'm considering doing it again, but because I liked the distraction. For me, also thinking about
Sure.
the mental focus of staying on that one pace for 26.2 miles, there was enough going on, but my biggest complaint was that there was so much going on that I could never find a rhythm. And like when the roads would narrow from 2 to 1 and I would get boxed in and then I would slow down, that was too much. I got boxed in so much. And then at mile 20, when I got boxed in, then I slowed down and then my legs were like, well, this is the pace we're going to be running for the next 6 miles. So I'm with
Right.
you.
Yeah, it is
It's
a
a
hard
lot.
race in that regard. Yeah.
The porta potty
Yeah.
line
One,
took
it's
like
just, yeah, you're
40
always like
minutes.
weaving and navigating. It's crazy, yeah, it's, like,
Yeah.
super stressful, and so I found, like, for me, again, like, this is just personal preferences that I figured out, like, so I did grandma's in June, which I have a little more to my story I wanna tackle on because I think it's helpful, but I did grandma's this past June, and, like, that race was, like, perfect. Like, there's people, you're never alone, but there's these, like, so you're going through these, like, little towns, and, like, the towns get a little bit, like, there's fans and there's crowds and there's some people, but in between the towns, it's, like, nice and quiet, and you're, like, running alongside, like, the lake, and I just that was, like, perfect for me because it was, like, this, like, quiet moments of just, like, calm self-talk, just run. And then every time I felt like I could use a little pick me up, there was a pick me up. So it was like,
Mhm.
to me, like a race like that was like the perfect balance. Like it was just lovely. But I guess another piece of my story that I know you've been part of is after that second Chicago, and I realized, okay, this is central nervous system stuff. I did decide I was going to run another one that fall, which again, I told you that was a bad decision before and I did it again. But I did space it out 8 weeks this time, not four. And I did focus really heavily that first month on recovery, like lots of sleep, not a ton of running, definitely not a lot of workouts and stuff. I really like let myself recover really well. I think my buddies here would tell you that's true. And then trained for like a month pretty hard. And then that December, I was signed up to go to Kiwa Island actually and race. And the day before we were supposed to leave, my mom, who was supposed to come watch the kids, her car broke down. My son had strep throat, and they were the weather. They were putting out advisories for Kiwa Island, like wind advisories of like
Mhm.
25 to 30 mile per hour winds. And I was like, like if the goal is to go there and try to run a time, like that is not like I'm not setting myself up here to be successful.
Mhm.
And also, like I legit didn't know how we were going to leave the kids because my mom's car had an issue. It was like a whole thing. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm not going. But I'm going to get up on Saturday morning, or it ended up being Friday morning, and I'm just going to go run a marathon in my neighborhoods with my friends, and I'm just going to
Mhm.
do it. Like I'm just going to freaking do it. And so we did. Like my buddies, like they kind of helped me figure it out. Like I had my one guy for 10 miles at the beginning, which was the best. I find my demons are like the first 10 miles, like the mental demons for me, like of
Really?
like,
Huh.
does this feel good? Am I good? Can I do this? Like I feel like once I get a little further along, I'm good. And then like they handed me off to some couple other people. One of my buddies biked with me. Like we just figured it out. And like on a random Friday morning, I ran a 256 like around the neighborhood. So that like finally I think kind of helped really take care of that monster for me. And so I think that would be like an encouraging piece for people. I think we do get caught up in like the official results and all that's nice. We like to have that. But like
Mhm.
if you just need to prove to yourself that you can do something and you know you can, like it doesn't have to be the Chicago or the like just you can just go do it. I mean, and obviously I had friends and I had support, and I know that doesn't work for everybody, but sometimes if it's something that you just need to prove to yourself, like you can. And for me, it was so nice. Like it took all the pre-race anxiety battles that I had. It pretty much took them out because it
Mhm.
was like I'm gonna sleep in my own bed. I'm gonna be with my babies. I don't have to worry about leaving anybody. There's no like porta potty problem in the morning. I'm gonna just use the bathroom in my house. Like, I'm just gonna be with my familiar face friends. We're just gonna run our neighborhood streets that I know exactly where I am and I'm really comfortable. And like the thing I had told myself too was like, if 20 miles in, it's going off the rails, we stop. It's
Right.
fine. It's not even a DNF. I was just running around my neighborhood. So it was like, if those weird calf cramps happen, like we'll just stop. Like it's not a big deal. And so I think for me, like it took a lot of the like things that cause anxiety off the table
Mhm.
and allowed me just to run. And actually, it was funny because the race was Saturday and I decided to do this on a Friday. And so even on Thursday, I hadn't decided yet. And so it was kind of awesome because there was like no day before the race. Like
Mhm.
it literally was like Thursday night at like 10, everything was like 9 o'clock. I was like, I'm just going to go get up in the morning and do it. It was like, okay, cool. So like
You
there
just
was no day
surprised your
before the
central
race.
nervous system.
Yeah, I tricked it. But I think by breaking 3 unofficially that way, then when I went to grandma's in June, it was like that monkey was off my back, and then, like, I wanted to do it, of course, and that's where I know you trained me and got me ready and all of the things, but I also was like, I know I can do it. I've done it. Like, I've done it. I know I
Right.
can do it,
Yeah.
and having that, like, that right there was enough to, I think, make that race go well and, like, make the pre-race anxiety. It was still there a little bit, right? Like, that's not something I think I can ever just get rid of.
Well,
Um,
because you care. So,
yeah, exactly. And I think that that's, I guess, again, a misconception. Like we all have, like, you're never gonna get rid of it. Everybody's got it. Like it's just part of it. But just figuring out how to manage it and not let it ruin your race. Because I think that it happens a lot more than people realize. One of my buddies that I run with all the time, He's a high school cross country coach, and he tells me about this race, this particular day, this happened. And I feel like most of the stories I'm hearing are even at these high school level girls, or particularly girls. It's like they were so physically ready, but it was
Mhm.
something related to race anxiety or a stress, or they had a tough moment in the race and they didn't know how to fight through it. So they stepped off the course. And so I think it's a piece that we don't talk about enough. And I think it's like so important. Like if your training is not translating into a race, there's a lot of reasons why, but I think this could be maybe the number one reason why that doesn't happen. And I think it's something it's worth the investment of time and money and energy to solve or to work on for you to actually, so you can hit your potential. Like it's worth it. Like you've worked hard to achieve those goals. It's like the kind of the missing piece, I think sometimes. It was for me.
Oh, especially with marathoning, especially with running. I mean, the mental aspect is so huge. I actually went for a walk with her this morning, a friend of mine who's a sports hypnotherapist. And so she made a recording for me it's basically visualization that really helped calm my nervous system. But the nervous system fatigue translating into cramps, that's something new for me. I want to research that and learn more about that because that's fascinating. And I think it was so genius to just get rid of all the things that make you extra nervous, just rip the Band-Aid off, prove to yourself that you can do it, which then alleviates most of those worries. And then grandma's, despite it being warm, you still had a great day. So what are you gonna do a marathon again soon, do
Yeah.
you think?
I ran, grandma's is a weird time point because it's June. So it's
Right.
sort of like, it's not a spring one. It's not a fall one. It's like, what am I? Which I love June personally. Again, I'm thinking through all this stuff. Like my kids are off. There's less sickness. There's like less activities are
Less
more
sports.
subdued. So for me, June is like, I really wanted to do June for that reason. It's like the only option really in June. But I also have family up in Minnesota, so that worked out perfectly. But so anyway, I told myself I'm not going to run one this fall. I'm like, no, I hit the goal. Like I'm happy. I don't need to run one this fall. But I had a buddy who was like, I'm going to go do Indy. And I was like, I'll do all the training with you. Like we train together all the time. He's helped me so much. I was like, yeah, I'll jump in any workout you need, like just a buddy for. And what that's turned into is like 3 days a week we're doing our workouts together, and like they're going really 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 well, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just do Indy with you, it's fine, whatever. So they had a wait list, so I was like, well, I'll just get on the wait list, right? Like that way at least I have a chance of getting it. Well, of course I found out I got in, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
go run
did?
Indy.
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
great.
So I'm gonna go run Indy, I guess in like 3 weeks. Is that in 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah.
so exciting. Good. Well, you showed me your workout that you did over the weekend, which was you're so fast. So you're gonna have a
Oh, I
great
don't know
day.
about that. But no, I feel like super, at this point, super, super chill about it. Like just whatever happens. It's not going to be 85 degrees, so that's good. That's a
Yeah.
plus. But yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
not, I feel like a totally different mindset going into it. Like, again, if it goes great, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too. But we'll
I
see.
think that's your MO, your antidote too, is just playing it cool, easy breezy, not like locking in and I'm running this race and I am doing this time no matter what. Okay.
Yeah,
So
that
we're
helps for sure. I think that mentality helps.
All right. So you are CEO of Bumped Up Labs. We are going to discuss strength training and pregnancy on the Patreon. So that's patreon.com/the mother runners for anybody who's interested in that, because Rachel has an app that is strength training for pregnant ladies. Before we get into that though, do you want to share where everybody can find you and
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
more about your business?
For sure. So the best place, the most like centralized resource about it is bumpedupapp.com. So I'll spell it though, because it's spelled funny. So it's BUMPTUP and then APP. So bumped up app, and bumped up's just kind of spelled funny. And that's bumpedupapp.com. And then we do have social medias too. So if you look us up, we're Bumped Up Labs. So again, BUMPTUP and then labs. So we have Instagram and Facebook. So that's another way to look at like, just our kind of day-to-day posts. But the most information about the app itself and really digging deeper there, if you're interested in knowing what the app has to offer, would be looking at our website.
Okay, cool. And so I'll include all of that in the show notes, and we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive on that for the Patreon bonus episode. Before I let you go, I want to know just a few little fun things about you. So, do you listen to music when you run?
Never.
Never listen, because you're always running with people.
I actually, so I run with like workouts. Yes. I never run a workout. I shouldn't say never. That entire grandma's training cycle, I was running all my workouts alone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because your buddies were
Or a
injured.
lot of them. Yeah. And that December one as well, I was a lot of those alone, which was a whole new like mental thing to like think I could do this alone. And that was actually something else. But workouts I typically try to do with people always if I can. The easy days I run alone. Like I don't like to run with people that are going to try to push the pace on an easy day. Not that people necessarily do. I don't think people mean to. They just like I did a workout yesterday. They didn't. They feel good. I don't. And like now we're running 7:30s and I don't want to run 7:30s today. So I'm pretty stingy with my easy days. Like I pretty much run them without my watch, as you know. You're not going to see data on those days. I run them without my watch and I run them alone or with a kid or baby in the stroller. Like that's kind of those easy days is what I do. And I don't listen to music ever. I honestly find when I'm running alone on those easy days is like some of the most clear thinking I get like all week long. Like I will come back from a run and feel like I've solved some of my own like logistical problems for the week during the run. Sometimes I come home and I'm a researcher, I'm a scientist. So I come home and I'm like jotting down notes of like ideas that I had while I was running. Like some of my best ideas for some of the research that I've done has literally come just out on an easy run. Like I actually have no desire to listen to music. Like it doesn't even sound good to me. Like, and I like music. I love the like quiet. And so here's the other thing. I have 4 little kids. There's not a lot of quiet in my life. So that is a quiet moment for me. I'm very unapologetic about my time to run. Like I don't do my nails. I'm pretty low maintenance. I don't ask for much, but like that is my time and I'm selfish about it. Like, and it's mine. And I do think I just like it quiet. I don't know. That's just how I've been, but I've been that way even before kids. I've really never been a music listener. Part of it's that I lived in St. Louis at that time point too, and it was like not the safest place to run, so I didn't feel safe running with music. And I think that just kind of kept translating, and I've just never been a fan. I've tried a few audiobooks here or there, thinking, oh, maybe I can get some like reading done, but I don't really love that either. I don't find myself really listening that well. Like I'm finding myself annoyed by somebody talking in my ears. Like I'm like, I just want it quiet and listen. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my. You got a really long-winded explanation for that question. But fun question. Just
I was
all serious.
expecting you just being like all the time. No, I'm just kidding.
No, nothing.
I've been going for walks during my recovery week, and I love listening to music when I'm running, but I've really enjoyed just tuning into nature and taking in the sights and sounds. I definitely think there's something to be said of that. Okay, I'll do one more question. I'll let you pick. A fun fact about you that nobody knows, or your biggest pet peeve. It can be like running related or just being a human in the world related.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you my biggest pet peeve.
Okay.
And I actually posted about this on my personal social media, and I was shocked at the response that I got. So this could be controversial. I'm just going to say that.
Ooh.
But my biggest pet peeve are the parking spots at the grocery stores or wherever for pregnant women, because I feel like those perpetuate the idea that pregnant women shouldn't be walking or moving very much. And that really contradicts all that I try to do with my science and my business. And so I just really don't like that. Like, I understand that there are certainly scenarios during pregnancy where you might be on bed rest or have but then in that case, there's a medical reason and they could be issued a handicap sticker. But to suggest that all pregnant women are handicapped, like the fact it's like handicapped and pregnant, like those are the two things why you shouldn't move. Like those parking spots, I just don't like that. But I had some people push back on me a bit. They thought it was like a privilege and a trophy and exciting to have those parking spots. And I would never want to yuck somebody's yum, right? Like if you're so excited to park there, but I don't know. Really, I was shocked that it was controversial. I had people saying things like, those couple extra steps aren't going to change an outcome for me. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of the attitude though, that maybe isn't going to change an outcome for you, right? Like if you take everything you do, like, oh, that one staircase isn't going to help me, or, oh, that one walk isn't going to change anything. That's kind of the attitude that like, isn't gonna really lend to like being active and healthy. And so anyway, so my pet peeve might be a little bit controversial, and I'll acknowledge that, and I respect everybody's views on those, but I do not like them, and I think they perpetuate a myth that pregnant women shouldn't move, and I don't like that. Now, postpartum, that's another story. Let's have a postpartum parking spot. Like that makes sense to me.
Ooh, yes.
When you have a baby in the carrier and you've been cut open potentially, like, yes, absolutely, you need them.
I totally agree with you. I feel like anything these days is going to be controversial. That's just the world we are living in right now.
True. I was called a Karen. Somebody called me a Karen. They were like, "Okay, Karen, like, why do those bother you?" I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh.
because I've put my whole career into trying to get moms to understand that they can move and it's really good for them and their baby, and those make them
Movement is
feel like they
medicine.
can't. Those make them feel like they shouldn't, and that is why they bother me.
I think you're totally right, though. Postpartum makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh, going to the grocery store with an infant plus a toddler, I think I'm scarred for life with that.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
they probably didn't have as many of the pickups as they do now. Like I know I have a friend who has 5 kids and they're all just a little bit older than mine. Like her youngest is my oldest's age. And she's like, "We didn't have curbside pickup. Like I had to take 5 kids to the grocery store." And like that we are really like was not a great thing from top to bottom, obviously, but some good that came out of it was all the places that do curbside pickup now.
Oh, yeah. I think after I had one really bad experience where Cal was a baby and he was in the baby Bjorn, and Eleanor was dealing with a lot of jealousy, and she got a toy car and she hit him in the head in the middle of the grocery store. And then I'm upset and he's crying and I pick her up to go take her she had to go to the bathroom too. She started whining that she had to go to the bathroom and crying. So I picked her up and she is crying and screaming and Cal's crying and screaming and she pees in the middle of the floor. Like I think the diaper was loose and then she lost her shoe and it was just this whole thing. And I just walked out without paying for anything and I felt like the biggest failure and I'm like, I can't handle this. And I think after that it was like, pick up and then Instacart all the way.
Yeah, it's
I was
so
scarred.
stressful. It's so
Um,
stressful.
it is so stressful. Anyway, so I digress. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I bet a lot of people have taken a lot of key insights away from you talking about performance anxiety because I think so many of us I know for sure I deal with it. So, and I've learned a lot from your journey. So I hope others will too. I know they will. And so we are going to hop on over to the Patreon. We're going to talk about movement or during pregnancy. Everybody listening would love for you to leave a review if you can, because that really helps. And you can find everything for this podcast is on the YouTube as well, which is just the Mother Runner. So Rachel, thank you so much. And I will talk to you in a minute.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye. Guys, Rachel's interview on the Patreon was filled with so much information about exercise and pregnancy. I am going to share a snippet here, but hop on over to the patreon.com/themotherrunners to get the full interview. Thanks for being here and see you next time.
But here's the other thing I love to think about with the baby and with exercise. When you exercise, your heart rate goes up, right? Okay. That same thing happens to your baby. And so what you are training your heart rate, like we know our heart rate goes up temporarily when we exercise and then it comes down when we're done, but we've trained the heart, like it's getting stronger. It's a muscle. It's getting stronger. And now, the next time you run, it's going to probably respond better because it's getting stronger every time. It's the same with the baby. We see the baby's heart rates go up during exercise. Elevated heart rate for babies, not anything to worry about. We worry about heart rates dropping. You don't want to see a heart rate drop. Elevating heart rates is no problem from the clinical perspective. It's the same thing. You're actually training your baby's heart. You're making it stronger because it's like it's essentially exercising with you. And so I think that's a really cool thing to think about too, is like how beneficial this is, like short and long term for the baby, is that we're making its heart stronger. And I think that's actually exciting.